I thought that Jeffrey and I had a great relationship and we could just talk. We would have coffee in the morning together, and we just have great conversations over philosophy, meaning of life. Really, he had a great insight, and I thought we talked about everything: people, religion, how he felt about things. He was really quick with his opinions on things. I think he didn't tell me exactly what he was struggling with. He might tell me he was having a little tough time with a course, was not crazy about going into work today, or was not feeling up to it, but he would always do it. He would get everything done. We could talk about everything, but yet the most important thing was how he was feeling inside. Truly, I think he felt that maybe he looked at his parents and saw that we could do everything. Maybe we didn't ask for help when we needed help. He didn't ask for help when he was struggling. Did he not realize he was depressed? He told me he was fine. Don't worry, Mom, I'm fine. Everything's okay. Not until the last couple of weeks of his life, when he got onto a new medication, and things started to turn around, did he tell me that maybe he was always feeling like this. This is something that he has always felt. Did he not realize that prior to that? I don't know. But he did everything he could to get through life. So the most important thing that he could have talked to me about, he didn't. I did ask him, again, two weeks before the end of his life, I asked him if he felt like he was going to hurt himself. I didn't know at that point what the right thing to do. I've since found that is the right thing to do, to ask. And he told me, "Don't worry, Mom. I never think about that." And I kind of looked at him and I said, I don't know, Jeff. And he said, "Nope, never think about it." So was he not honest with me at that point? I don't know. But 2 weeks later, he took his own life. So I think back, and I think that he told me just enough so that I would be okay.
Good communication from parent to son or parent to daughter is sometimes just, forget depression, forget anxiety. Sometimes it's just really, really hard. And sometimes it doesn't always go as well as you'd hope. And I think that's true. I talk to adolescents all the time. They say the same thing. I really wish this conversation would go better with my parents. And so it's not just the frustration that parents have or that young people have. I think it's shared. Could be for different reasons. The number one intervention that I offer as a therapist, sometimes I find, is just listening. So good communication is rooted in listening in a respectfully curious way and actually hearing in as non-judgmental a way as you can what's going on and what's happening for somebody. And it maybe shouldn't be this way, but sometimes that's all the shift that's needed. Where someone in therapy just says, well, finally somebody actually cares about what I have to say. And what's tough about that is because I know that parents love their kids, and I know that they really want to know what's going on and they really want to help. But it's the power struggles that happen in the communication that sometimes get in the way. One of the analogies that I like to use is the Heisman Trophy. If you are familiar with the trophy, it's sort of, I don't know how to do this. It sort of looks like this. Do you guys, have you seen this, right? It sort of looks like this. And and I think it gives a nice physical representation of what that communication can be like sometimes, particularly if your son or daughter's angry, and that's part of how their depression is showing up. And what I mean by this is that what they're giving you is the straight arm. What they're giving you is back away. And as a parent, you can choose to focus on that. You can choose to focus on the, okay, well, he's telling me to leave him alone, so I'm out of here. And, he says he's fine, so I'll leave it be. Or you could pay attention to the other hand, which the trophy's holding a football. But for the purposes of what I'm trying to communicate, it's saying, no, I still need you. This hand is saying, please stay and listen and help me. And it's at least both things are being communicated at once. If all you hear is the loud, straight no, and ignore the I'm here and I need your help, then you're going to miss the opportunity to really be there for your kid.
So a very common symptom of depression is having suicidal thoughts. So one of the worries would be that these kids could be having these suicidal thoughts, but feel so upset about having them and would not be wanting to upset a parent. So the idea is to kind of get it out in the open, give them an avenue to talk about it, and go ahead and ask directly, do you get these thoughts of hurting yourself or feel as if you're wanting to be hurting yourself? Because these thoughts do come in as part of the clinical depression. And one of the common worry for a parent is that if we actually ask them whether they feel like killing themselves, that they will be implanting these thoughts in their minds, but it's far from the truth. In fact, it actually establishes a communication between the parent and the child, and they are able to come up with their worst fears and the worst thoughts, and it is out in the open and ready for taking the next step.
If a concern about your son or daughter rises to the level where they have considered suicide or are thinking seriously about it, it brings our concern as adults for young people to a much more serious place. You could have a low-grade depression where things aren't going well and you're not happy and never be suicidal. But suicidality is obviously, for obvious reasons, something we take very seriously. It's not something that should be downplayed or ignored. Sometimes I hear parents think, but maybe it's out of wishing, but think that someone is just saying they're suicidal because they're seeking attention. And what we know about it is that if it's come to the level where it's been communicated that there's that level of thought and distraught thinking in a person, we need to take it very, very seriously. It's not just for seeking attention, or it is for seeking attention, but they deserve that attention. We need to make sure we keep our kids safe.
Your child is willing to talk to you about feeling depressed. One suggestion I have is to, number one, don't take it personally. Their depression is not a sign that you've failed as a parent or that you're doing something wrong. And we have a tendency to defend or deny how our children are feeling. So my suggestion is to not take it personally. Don't be dismissive. Be open to what they're saying. Be reassuring. Assure them that you are there for them, that you've got their back in a way. And take everything they say seriously. Don't argue. Don't refute it. Don't defend yourself. Engage with what they're saying and relate to it. Think about how maybe if you have ever felt the same way. And not that that needs to be articulated, but try to understand how they might be feeling. And I think that's a great way to keep the lines open and keep them talking.
When you think about how to go about having this kind of difficult conversation, again, I believe it starts with listening and really just hearing what's going on for somebody. But to really do that in an effective way, I think you need to be coming from a place, it sounds a little cheesy, but coming from a place of love. You need to be in touch with what it is that you like about this person and what it is about them that you care about. And if you're focused on that and not as much focused on what does this mean to me and how's this going to reflect on me, or do I have time for this, if you can really focus in on how much you care about this person and what's going on for them, then I think you're going to be more effective at having the difficult conversation about how concerned you are about what's going on and about the steps you need to take to make sure that they get the help that they need.